Chapter 67, Racing Against Time. Your echo has been destroyed. Sunny stumbled, nearly losing his footing. Cassie, riding on his back, instinctively tightened her grip on his shoulders, leaning backward in an attempt to help him stabilize. As fallen leaves scattered from beneath his feet, he barely managed to steady himself. No! A surge of frustration and sorrow flooded his chest. It was too late. His faithful scavenger, his echo, had been annihilated by the towering monstrosity. The sheer ease and savagery with which the carapace demon had shredded the creature was more than a display of power. It was almost an insult. It had taken mere seconds. Sunny had watched it all, not just with his own eyes, but through the vision shared via his shadow. He had felt the bond between them vanish. In the still waters of his soul sea, one glowing sphere quietly flickered out, leaving the waters just a shade darker. He had lost more than just a combat asset. Sure, the echo had been immensely valuable, not only in battle but potentially in monetary value if brought back to the waking world. But over time, Sunny had come to feel a kind of fondness for the mindless creature. It was dependable, loyal. It even had its own odd, stubborn presence. Now it was gone. Gritting his teeth, Sunny forced himself to run even faster. Morning could come later. Sunny? What happened? Cassie's voice was low and tense, clearly sensing his distress through his posture and movements. He could barely breathe, much less talk. Hauling himself uphill at full speed with Cassie on his back, as light as she was exhausting without the support of his shadow. Still, he managed to rasp out. He killed the echo. There was no time for more words. Below them, the carapace demon stood silently, towering above the ravaged remains of the scavenger. From his raised limbs, thick droplets of vibrant azure blood slowly dripped into the sand. Then, the echo's corpse shimmered. It began glowing softly, then disintegrated into a stream of luminous particles, which faded away into nothingness. No trace of the echo remained, not even blood. It had returned to the void it came from, a creation of nightmare energy undone. But the demon wasn't watching the spectacle. Instead, his gaze was fixed on a small patch of sand nearby. There, a shadow, human-shaped, stood motionless. With the echo's body gone, the shadow that had been hiding beneath it was now completely exposed. Damn it! The demon's eyes glowed brighter. Then, moving with terrifying speed, he thrust his scythe into the shadow. Sunny winced instinctively, bracing for pain, but none came. The human-shaped silhouette pierced through the chest, looked down at the weapon, then scratched its head, unharmed. It was a shadow, after all. Without a body, it couldn't be injured by conventional means. Of course, what was I thinking? The carapace demon continued to study the strange behavior of the shadow. Then he slowly turned, his crimson gaze drifting up toward the hill's summit where the tree loomed. He was no fool. Damn it all! Abandoning the fruitless attack on the shadow, the massive demon lunged forward and began charging up the hill with terrifying momentum. He moved like a juggernaut, each stride spanning meters. Sunny's eyes widened in alarm. "Get back here!" he mentally screamed at the shadow. He quickly reached the tree, helping Cassie off his back and handing her the rucksack Nephice had left behind. "Be careful with that," he muttered. Cassie nodded. She knew what the bag contained and shouldered it delicately. Meanwhile, Nephice had already climbed into the lower branches. She summoned her glowing rope and tossed it down. Sunny caught it, tied a quick loop, and handed it to Cassie. "You're going first." Cassie hesitated. Before she could put her foot into the rope, Sunny suddenly stopped her. "Wait, summon your staff." Her enchanted walking stick, capable of producing strong winds, could be the key to buying them time. Without question, she complied. The wooden staff materialized in her hand. Sunny stepped behind her, guiding her hand. "Now summon the wind." With a hum, the air surged to life. A violent gust tore across the landscape, lifting leaves and sand into the air. The surface of the island was swept clean, revealing untouched sand below. At the same time, Sunny's shadow was racing against the charging behemoth. Though massive, the demon's speed was still rivaled by the swift shadow. It had almost caught up with its master. Go! Sunny urged. Cassie slipped her foot into the loop. Nephice pulled her up quickly, faster than most humans could manage. But was it fast enough? Sunny could already hear the thunder of 8 scythe-like legs slamming into the earth. Finally, Cassie reached the branches. Nephice helped her onto the bough, then tossed the rope back down. The carapace demon was nearly upon them. The shadow rejoined Sunny, wrapping itself around his body. Gripping the rope, he ascended like a man possessed, climbing with all the strength adrenaline could lend. Reaching the branch, he immediately pulled on the rope. But there was no time. No! Before the monster could see the golden rope, Nephice dismissed the memory, making it vanish from existence. The 3 of them crouched low, hiding behind the thick width of the branch. They didn't breathe. Moments later, the carapace demon arrived, a titan of polished armor and glowing eyes. His sides gleamed in the dimming light, hungry for battle. But he saw nothing. He lingered, scanning the surroundings. His glowing eyes turned upward, but the branch was wide and concealed the sleepers perfectly. After a long pause, the demon turned and studied the ground. But the signs of their passage had already been erased by the wind. Finding nothing, the creature began to retreat. Sunny finally allowed himself to exhale. At the edge of the gust-cleared area, the demon came upon 2 sets of footprints, one Nephice, one Sunny's. With a roar of rage, he charged down the slope, following the trail into the empty wasteland. There was no one left. The desert was empty, cast in red by the setting sun. Then, the ground trembled and a low rumble echoed through the labyrinth. A chilling breeze swept past them, laced with salt. The tide was returning. The carapace demon paused. With one last look at the desert, he turned and slowly climbed back to his perch on the ashen barrel.